It is possible for you to have big arms without being at a high body fat percentage and also without hopping on the sauce. Besides what all these delusional fitness influencers tell you about, what qualifies as a massive arm, they're going to tell you anything over 18 inches or whatever. I'm going to be pretty honest with you right now. The average arm size of the male population here in America is like 13 and a half inches. So if you have 14-inch arms, you're already above average. Okay. You already have, by, average standards, a big arm. To listen to these influencers, they're all delusional and shit. We all know that, right? To listen to them and to believe that anything under 18 inches naturally is considered small, it's just bullshit. You can develop a beautiful set of pythons, okay? And you can literally only be 13, 14 inches. My younger brother, for example, he has 13-inch arms, but he's very lean. His peaks look good. His arms look good. And he's only 13 inches. What I'm trying to say here is that the beauty of the arm lies in its proportion, its leanness, and also the illusion. I'm going to dive into each of these three topics in this video extensively. And I'm also going to tell you how to achieve all three of them. But first, my personal background. So I've been training for just about 5 years naturally, and I've grown my arms from 13.5 inches when I first started to 16.2 now. And that's a 16.2 without a pump. And it only took me about a year to get to 15 inches. So these last 3 years have been literally just 1.25 inch of growth. So I wouldn't say it's been a struggle, but that's what it's like being natural. You're going to see the newbie gains when you first start working out, and then later on as time progresses, you're not really going to see that much growth. And that's why I'll get into this much more in detail later on in the video, but you're going to need to switch things up. I personally believe that my full genetic output is going to be around 17 inches, and that I'm going to need to work a lot more on my tricep development, specifically the long head of my tricep, in order to achieve this. And again, I was able to get to 16 inches naturally, so there's really no reason for you to hop on juice or, SARM, sauce, whatever the hell you want to call it. There's no reason for you to do that. This is a natural bodybuilding channel. I'm never going to recommend that you hop on that shit ever. Okay, that's going to destroy your health. Never hop on that shit. So first up, we have proportion. Now, proportion is the size of any muscle on your body in relation to the rest of the muscles on your body. In the case of the arms, you have the bicep, the tricep, the shoulder, and of course the forearms. It is well known that the tricep makes up 2/3 of the upper portion of your arm. So if we wish to build the biggest arms possible, we're gonna have to put a lot of focus on the triceps. Now, that's not to say that we shouldn't focus on the biceps, the shoulders and the forearms, but if we want to build the biggest arm possible, we're gonna have to focus on each single head of the tricep. So what are these three heads? Well, you have the lateral head, the medial head, and of course the long head, which is the biggest, which is what I just said before. You can be a guy who just works out his long head and you could have pretty big arms. Obviously, you're going to lack the definition compared to a guy that works out the lateral and the medial head, but you can still have big arms if you only work out the long head. But of course, you don't want to do this because it won't look as aesthetic as possible. So to develop the lateral head of the tricep, you're going to want to be doing a single arm dumbbell crossover. Lay back on the bench with a comfortable weighted dumbbell. Have your upper arm remaining still as you bring the dumbbell down to your other shoulder. Repeat for the other side. I didn't come up with this dumbbell workout either. This was a favorite of Steve Reeves, greatest bodybuilder of all time in my opinion. So take it from him. Another great tricep workout to develop your lateral head of your tricep is going to be the dumbbell French press behind the neck. Grab a decently heavy dumbbell, hold on to it with your palms facing the ceiling, keep your elbows close to your ears, and lower the dumbbell as far as you can to get a good stretch. Now, one of my favorites for developing the lateral head is going to be the rope pushdown, and you don't even have to use a rope for this. You can use a straight bar. You can really use anything as long as you're focusing on extending that tricep. So load up the pulley machine with your selected weight, grab the rope attachment, or again, any attachment that you desire, bring it down in line with your lower chest, keep elbows in this position, and push down. Okay, now on to the medial head, and my favorite workout for developing the medial head is going to be the close grip barbell bench press. So set up the barbell just like you're going to be performing a regular wide grip flat bench press. Except for this, you're going to want a pretty narrow grip. Keep your arms tucked and close to your body. Come down, repeat. It's very important that you keep your elbows close and tucked into your body. Now, just like a push-up, a tricep variation of a push-up, when you're keeping your elbows close to your body instead of wide out, it's going to develop your triceps a lot more. You know, when you're doing that wide grip push-up and your elbows are kind of flared, that's going to be working your chest much more. Now, when you bring those elbows in and you're really focusing on the tricep, it's developing your tricep. So the same thing goes for the close grip bench press. Another terrific workout for building the medial head is going to be either dumbbell or barbell skull crushers. It doesn't really matter as long as your form is top notch. So lay back on the bench with your weight, keep your elbows straight, don't flare them out, lower weight without moving elbows, and then bring the weight back up. I've seen the best results for myself when I don't lock out my elbows all the way while doing this, so I definitely recommend you try that out. The skull crushers are also going to work the long head of your triceps, so they could easily be in this category too. But they're not as good as the weighted dip when it comes to developing the long head. So grab your bench, roll it out so you have a nice open area and also a weight of your choosing. I usually use 45 pounds. Put the weight on your lap, hands on the bench with fingers facing forward, drop down close to the bench, and then up. Make sure you're keeping your ass and your back pretty close to the bench when you're doing this. If you go too far, you can really mess up your rotator cuff, and we don't want that. Now onto the biceps. Now you're gonna have the short head, the long head, and also the biceps brachialis. Not sure if I'm saying that right. I'm not going to really cover which workouts target which specific region of the bicep because it's not really even that important when it comes to the bicep. The tricep is much more important to focus on things like that. But for the bicep, you're just going to want to make sure that you're doing one variation of a supinated curl, which as you can see right here, that's supination. And you're also going to want to be doing an unsupinated version of a curl. And lastly, you're going to want to be doing 1 or 2 workouts that are targeting the peak of your bicep. The first workout I recommend everyone should do is the incline dumbbell bench curl. Set up the bench above 50 degrees, lay back, grip the dumbbells with the inside of your hands closer to the weight, as you can see right here. Keep your elbows still and close to your body during the curl movement to achieve the best stretch possible. Now this workout can be for the supinated variation of the curl that I was just referring to. Another great workout for the supinated variation of the curl is going to be the standard barbell curl. So keep your elbows tight to your body and bring the weight up. Don't bend your back at all. I know a lot of guys, they like loading up the barbell with like a shit ton of weight and then they look like a freaking dolphin like in the air. It looks terrible. All right, keep your form strict. Don't really cheat on this. If you're gonna cheat, push yourself forward and then up. Never kind of banana back yourself. That's really bad for your back. It's not gonna hit your biceps either. It's just gonna be like this. Not good. Now the standard barbell curl, it's my favorite bicep workout along with the incline dumbbell curl. And I never exclude this from my bicep workout. This is like, you always need to have this in my opinion. It's just like, it's so simple. It's so easy to go to failure on it. You can be, doing one set with 2 10s on each side or 25-pound plate on each side. And then once you're done, just quickly take them off, put like 2 10s on, and then keep going down. It's a great workout. And it's easy to, like I just said, do a drop set or whatever. It's a great workout. I highly recommend you do it. Now, as for the unsupinated curl, I would highly recommend the dumbbell hammer curl. So you're going to want to keep your elbows tight to your body and bring the dumbbells straight up without supinating. I found better results for myself when instead of going across my body like a lot of people do for these, I just go straight up. I found better results like that, but I also know a lot of guys who have gotten great results doing the cross way. So whatever way works better for you, you can even switch them up from time to time. They're both going to develop your biceps pretty well. Okay, so for the peak bicep workout, I highly recommend the dumbbell concentration curl. Sit on a bench with the dumbbell inside your legs, elbow against the inside of your knee, and slowly bring the dumbbell up. For this workout, it's very important that you don't cheat at all. Everything needs to be slow and controlled when performing this. Now, when it comes to forearms, I only do one workout, and that is the reverse grip forearm curls on the pulley machine. You can see that right here, I'm doing it. So you're gonna wanna keep your elbows tight and just curl your wrists downward and go 2 sets to failure. This has worked very well for my forearms, and it helps me build a lot of width right here in this area. So for leanness, I'm just going to be talking about the ideal body fat percentage that you're going to want to be at for your arms to look the best way they possibly can. Now, I'm not going to be recommending that you become absolutely diced and shredded because it's just not that healthy to be completely honest with you. Old school guys like John Grimmick and Steve Reeves, they understood this. Reeves stayed around 12 to 13% body fat throughout his entire bodybuilding career, and Grimmick was even a little higher because he was a strong man. He was around like 18% body fat. And they were smart by doing this because as a natural, when you're a little higher in body fat percentage, you look more full, you look more complete, you just look great and you feel great too. You feel a lot healthier because your body needs a little fat on it to just be healthy. You know, this is common sense. You can look this up. You need some fat on your body. Just take a look at modern day natural bodybuilding competitions. These guys get to like 6, 7% body fat. And, you know, the ones that are actually natural, you know, they're not cheating. They literally look like prisoners of war. It's like terrible. I don't know why the sport has come to that. You know, it's a downfall in my opinion, but back then they knew what they were doing. They stayed around like between 12 and 18% body fat, and that's what I recommend you do. I used to be around 10% body fat. You know, you can see the footage right here that I'm showing. I had a very defined six pack. You know, I look pretty good, right? I look like a beast. You know, my veins are popping a little more. Nowadays, I'd say I'm around like 16% body fat now, and that was intentional. I started eating more. I started enjoying life because I didn't feel that strong earlier in the year when I was 10% body fat. And I feel a hell of a lot stronger now. You know, I don't mind losing the purely defined six pack. You know, I still have abs when I flex, so that still looks pretty good. I don't really care, you know, to be honest. I'd rather sacrifice that super leanness for a little more size and strength because I just feel healthier. But it also depends what look you prefer. Now, if you prefer a Steve Reeves look, you're probably going to want to be around 12, 13% body fat just so you can show off that shredded midsection. But if you want like a Grimmick look, you can get away with being 18% body fat. You know, if you don't care about abs or whatever, you just want to look massive or whatever, you know, you can get away with 17, 18% body fat. It's all about which look you prefer. You know, it's pretty funny. Modern day influencers, you know, they'd probably call John Grimmick fat and they'd call Steve Reeves small. You know, I know people do it all the time now. They're like, oh, he was small. This is how, you know, messed up in the head we are as a society now with the influx and the use of steroids and all that. But if you want to look at the epitome of natural bodybuilding, these two guys they're just that. They're the epitome. Okay. You know, you have Reeves. He's much more thinner waist. You know, he's got that beautiful V shape. He's the epitome of that look. And then you have Grimmick, who's just the epitome of like kind of the strongman slash bodybuilding look because he was a strongman. He primarily trained strongman stuff. So he's the epitome of that area. And then Reeves is the epitome of, you know, I guess you could say like the male model area of bodybuilding. And anyone nowadays that's educated in the matters of health, they would see these guys and they'd be like, yeah, these guys were way healthier than these shredded, roided up guys now. That's why they live longer. Okay, it's that simple. They were a lot healthier. So yeah, 12 to 18% body fat, that's where your body should be at. Okay, now on to the illusion factor of bodybuilding. Now the illusion factor, it's basically just the premise of looking bigger than you actually are. And there are a lot of old school methods to achieve this. In order for your arms to look more massive when you're doing poses such as back double biceps or even front double biceps, you're going to want the peaks of your biceps to be higher than your shoulders. If you look at most old school bodybuilders, you know, the natural ones, they intentionally did this because they wanted from the back, they wanted their biceps to be higher than their shoulders because it makes your biceps look a hell of a lot bigger. I personally only work out my shoulders maybe like once every 2 weeks. I still go hard on them, but I don't really work them out as much as my arms because when you have those giant boulder shoulders that everyone talks about, your arms kind of look small. When I was discussing the workouts before, you're probably thinking like, Kenny, you didn't go over shoulders. You said you're going to go over shoulders and you didn't go over them. Well, I'm going over them right now. So when I do work out my shoulders, I go quite light, especially on my overhead presses. So you're going to have three categories, you know, three areas of the shoulder that you're going to want to build. You're going to have the front delt, the rear delt, and also the side delt. Now for the front delt, you have things like overhead presses. For the side delt, you're going to have dumbbell lateral raises. And then for the rear delt, you're going to have things like dumbbell reverse flies. I am not as concerned with developing the front delt as I am with developing the rear and the side. This is because the side delt gives you a nice wide appearance, and the rear delt, it just looks great from the back. You know, when you're flexing, you're doing like a back double biceps, you can really see that rear delt. Now, the front delt is actually the region that, if overdeveloped, is going to dwarf the size of your arms. And this is why I don't really work it out that much. I really very rarely do overhead presses. When I do them, I go quite light, and I just do a dumbbell version. I'll go like 2 sets to failure, and I'll just use literally like 40, 50-pound dumbbells. I'm really not focused on building the front delt. All right, the last thing I'm going to be discussing is the training frequency and also the sets and the reps that you're going to want to do. Now, it's going to be different for everybody, okay? Because you're going to have guys new to lifting, and you're also going to have guys that are quite experienced. So if you're a beginner to this arm routine, I would recommend that you work out your arms, do this workout twice a week. You can even do it 3 times a week if your body responds better, but I would recommend at least twice a week. Take at least 2 to 3 days off between each workout, but let's say you hit arms, you do like a bicep tricep split on a Monday, I would say do it again on Thursday. Now that's for beginners, okay? For guys that are quite experienced, you're going to have to switch things up. Your body's not really going to respond to the old 3 to 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps. You're going to have to go 1 to 2 warm-up sets, and then just 1 or 2 sets, all out, balls to the wall, complete and utter failure. And when I say failure, I don't mean stop when you start feeling a burn in your bicep or whatever. I literally mean go until you can't fucking go anymore. Okay, go until your body can't bring the dumbbell or the barbell up when you're done. Okay, that's what I mean by complete and utter failure. I don't mean, oh, you feel a burn, oh, I gotta stop. No, okay? As long as you're keeping good form and you can't go no more, you're not gonna hurt yourself. Okay, especially if you're an experienced lifter. Now, if you're a new guy, yeah, you could probably hurt yourself because your muscles are not as like acclimated or used to the stress and the exhaustion that you're going to be putting them through. So sets and reps for beginners, we have 3 to 4 sets and 8 to 12 reps. And for experienced guys, like I said, 1 to 2 sets, complete failure. It's really that simple. That's all you got to do to actually see progress. And when you're experienced, you can go once a week. Okay, so you can hit, let's say you're doing back and bis on Monday, and then chest and tries on either Thursday or Friday. If you're going to complete and utter failure, you know, and we're on the same page here, you're literally going till you can't go no more, you're going to need at least 3 days of rest. Okay, even between your back, you know, your bicep and back workout and then your chest and tricep workout. Because if you're too sore to hit chest and tries, you need to push it off another day or 2. You need to have your full strength for each workout if you're going to go to failure. Now, when it comes to what type of split you should be doing, I highly recommend that beginners do their bicep and their tricep workout on the same day. I used to do it was kind of like a superset version. I would do 1 bicep workout, 1 tricep workout, 1 bicep workout, 1 tricep workout, 1 bicep workout, 1 tricep workout. Or I'd start tricep and then go bicep. Kind of keep them stacked. Okay, this is great for when you're doing like, you know, if you're going pretty hard as like a new guy, considered for a new guy, if you're going quite hard and you're burned out on a bicep workout at first, then you can take a break, do a tricep workout, and then go back to biceps. It works great for that, and that's why I recommend it. This is what Arnold did. Arnold did arms on the same day, so, you know, take it from him. One of the greatest enhanced bodybuilders of all time, but take it from him. He did arms on the same day. That's biceps and triceps. But recently I've switched things up because I've been doing arms on the same day for like 4 years. Okay, so I just switched things up. Now I'm doing a back and bicep split, complete failure, and then I wait 3 to 4 days, and then I do chest and tries, complete failure. So that's what I'm doing now, but that's just to switch things up. And that's going to be what I leave you with here. If you're natural, you're going to need to switch your workouts up. Okay, that means sets, reps, intent level, you know, just the workouts you're doing. Like if you're doing, I don't know, let's say one type of concentration curl, like the one I showed in this video, maybe switch to a different one. There's tons of concentration curl variations that you can do, if like pulley machines, even just dumbbells, like other variations. Switch your workouts up, okay? Shock your muscle, really surprise it, and exhaust the fuck out of it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to leave you guys with. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're still here, I appreciate you. Hit that like button, comment, subscribe, show the love. It really helps me. And yeah, I'll see you guys sometime next week, and peace out.